Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to The Great Ace Attorney. Third part of the first case. I don't know if it's called, like, Trial 3 or whatever, but still, that first case and the third bit of it, if you will, in the game. And it is a 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Let's go. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Because you suck, that's why. Ha, a judicial assistant, and a woman no less. Listen, you idiot. You a-hole of epic proportions. Shush. You just need to not even go there by this point. Like, come on. Just shut up. Exactly. Exactly, Harmore. Like, this is a... The rules state the females are not permitted into this outer court of law other than to testify. That's... I don't know which year this takes place, but that sadly possibly could be true back in history. But shush, she's probably here to testify, so you can just shush. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense, and we will ask her to testify that it's fine. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. And no, it hasn't. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I want to be an a-hole, and I need my a-holeness to be approved. Like, good God, man, come on. Ugh. Jesus, this dude. I am most grateful. All right, let's go. Unfortunately, it probably is, yeah. Women couldn't do a whole lot in the past, especially in Japan, from what I've learned. Yeah, and I mean, so let's assume this, like, again, from my vague guess, I'm guessing 1890s. Just by the fact that it has essentially Sherlock Holmes in the game later. That's the one thing I know. So 1890s-ish, therefore, right? Remembering that, I think, I want to say that, for example, Finland made it so that women could vote at very early 1900s. Like, maybe 1906 or something, maybe? Meaning that... And Finland was, I think, among the very first that did it. If not the first. Like, it's right in there, I think. So, that was the most progressive to even allow them to vote. So, Japan being probably a touch more conservative, ouch. Ouch. But, you know, live and learn from history, right? Most European bases were until around 1920s, though it was fought for many years before. Yeah. Finland being, I think, the first in Europe, maybe, or the second or something. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. Okay. What is it? A report about something? It's Giselle Brett's research. Okay. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's lab in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Borrowing is important sometimes, yes. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no. Borrowed. I mean, if we put it back, it's borrowing, right? That's how it works. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I think it's a poison plant, or, well, a poison of some sort, at least. Never heard that word before. I know my curares from my Sherlock Holmes stories, you see. Not stories, but games. Yeah. Time's up. The prosecution... Indeed, a poisonous plant. Thanks, Harmo. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. Ouchie? Just shush it. Come on. There was too little time for me to read in detail. Also, the judge already gave permission for Susato to be here, so Aoshi can really shush. Aoshi is so bigoted that he's trying to, like, overrule the judge. Like, dude, come on. But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record, a report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University. Right. Goodbye then, and good luck. Alrighty. And she can teleport as well, Jesus. A resourceful lady if I ever saw one. Jesus. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Actually, yes, you can, but, you know. She poofed! I know! She's magic! I asked the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... You don't presume, my dude. The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ruinosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to... Whoa. Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Okay, before I do anything, can I just, like, examine it or something? A little better. So, okay, a poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Yeah, I think the Sherlock thing was about, like, incapacitation and, like, whatever. But does that then mean that he did indeed need to be shot then, in the end? Oh, subsequent death. Okay, cool. Never mind. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. I mean, it surely is this, but safety save, yes, let's just play it safe. Oh, crap, sorry. There. Yes! Miss Giselle Brett, We understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps. Into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Council? I'm going home with this, that's what I'm going. A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body that leads to instant death.
Objection!
Objection! Wait, what an utter complete nonsense. Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. You are an idiot. That's the reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify curare. I mean, strictly speaking, what you meant to say, it does exist in your country because it was ingested by Wilson. You know, like, it does exist, it just doesn't occur naturally in your country. That's there's a clear difference there. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. Huh? Order, order, order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. Oh! That's what happened! Okay, I have a thing, or I have a plan, or I have an idea, right? I think what happened was she tried to poison Wilson with the curare by just ingesting it, yes? But instead, I think Wilson never drank it yet. And because of that, the lady had to coat the bullet with the curare and shoot him instead. That would explain the weird reaction she had, damn you, when the detective said that I can't say for certain whether or not Wilson drank from the glass. It would still make the glass poisoned, so she had to get rid of the glass, or like take it and whatever, just to be a little more safe, but still. Maybe? Now, would in real life the poison survive the firing? If he didn't drink it, then how did he burn himself without screaming? That's an excellent question, though. Fair, yeah. I'm just wondering why the gunshot. Like, wouldn't it, like... Harmo, I do agree with your point. Like, honestly, Sins makes the excellent point about the burn. That probably doesn't then fit to my idea. And Harmo, I agree with you that only in fiction would a coated in a bullet work, because there's a couple of things that doesn't sound quite right in it, maybe. But this is nonetheless the series that sold in the first game the notion that a normal, simple elevator will run out of oxygen in about like 20 minutes when 3 people are in the elevator and they all pass out because of lack of oxygen. This is the same game series that does that too. So laws of physics and laws of nature and all that stuff, you know, they kind of only in fiction, if you will. Because the elevator thing doesn't actually, that's not how it goes. So I think she saw a chance to frame Ryu. Cute. Yeah, maybe. Could be. It still seems dangerous, though, to add so much, like, attention to the moment, but I don't know. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. But yeah, since that's probably true. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Objection! Trumpery! Oh god. These aspersions are... Oh, that is a choice of words right there. Oh boy. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison... I mean, I would agree though to call that like a bunch of lies to be that, so sure, but still. He would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. No. That's true. No, it's a paralytic. Obviously I would have noticed a disturbance like that, but it's a paralytic thing, it's just like poof. Don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. It's not a painful thing. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that the curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. No, later. Yeah? The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would almost look like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison? Objection! This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing, what a happy tale for the defense. And what the witness there was researching, so deeply do. If I may. All these facts you think you're so clever, but you must be... It is you who must be taught. Shut up! Oh, of course. Dear lady... So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? We yell objection and that's fine. You steal another... another's honest hard work and then announcing results as if you discovered them. Nah, we just find your honest hard murder and then announce the result as you being guilty. That's how it goes. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Objection! Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Ha! Right. Ha ha ha. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Ouchie, what? Yeah. Ouchie has been just like the complete, like, incarnation of absolute, just like, can't do anything right, is an absolute moron. Like, comparing Ouchie to the Pain prosecutors from the Ace Attorney proper, Ouchie is so much more just bad at everything. It's, oh boy. Because murder follows all the rules. Yeah. Like it's all in the rules of life that murder must follow these steps, and unless your murder follows these steps of rules, you need to go back to the starting square and throw the die again until you get a double 6. Yes. May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see why not. She tries to drink it, but again, it's not in the bottle, it's in the glass. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. You're also an island girl, my lady, just saying. Just different island. To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! What are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Oh my. Goodness. Whatever is the matter, you all look quite stunned. So, no curare. Not in the bottle, come on. Just... come on. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? Ha 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 ha. You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course. That's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. He's almost got it. Yeah, grrr. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given, and most gratified with the murder you committed because we are too stupid to understand. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. No, there hadn't. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? Well, she swallowed a glass full of water, not the whole glass. Like she might have trouble digesting an entire glass. Just, I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been a poison in that bottle. No, there hadn't. Think bigger. Think around the thing. Turn your thinking around like Phoenix Wright, the Ace Attorney. Wasn't there? Well, there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ruinosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. Of course it doesn't. As I thought. Bonks Ryu on the head. You can do it! Yeah. There is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ruinosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there's poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Oh, it's that what this color is supposed to represent. That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel, for which you will be penalized. Oh, come on. It's in the glass! Come on, game! That's BS. Might be reading too much reality into this, but a cursory internet search suggests that karate only works through bloodstream contamination. I was wondering about that same thing, Harmo, yeah. You know, because I was wondering about the difference between poison and venom, as one does. And I kind of had that same thinking, but I wasn't sure whether or not it's a kind of like a nerve toxin or what. Like, if it's, say, a toxin that would do both. So I didn't want to say anything because I wasn't sure if it would be able to do both. But I had that thought, like if the South American natives coat their arrows, it would need to go into the bloodstream, whereas you can ingest, like, you know, for example, snake venom, I think, because it doesn't enter your bloodstream then. At least, you know, some snake venoms. That's probably why you can use it for hunting, but the victim had an open wound in his mouth from the molar extraction. True, yeah. How did she swallow a whole glass to live to tell the tale? Okay, so there is poison in the bottle? How does that work? I mean, credit to the game that I got it wrong, but... okay. Like... Does it, like, leave the bottle after 3 days? Like, okay, what? The culprit did put curare poison in the Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Objection! Objection! Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? Maybe her swan hat is the antidote. Maybe her hat is all an elaborate IV to be an antidote. I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Okay, time for a random guess, I suppose. Like, why else would she need to take the glass if that wasn't the... It would be simpler to poison the glass, come on. I think. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed. I noticed you had an idea, Sin, and I want to think this through myself before I look at chat again, just to be safe. Okay, hold on. Actually, hey, Harmo, you just, like it's here too when the poison enters a body through a wound. Yeah. Like yeah. It's actually said so in here as well. I just wasn't paying too much attention, it seems. I'm a bit tired again. What explains how the witness was able to consume this? Oh yeah. There we are.
Yes.
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
Objection, because indeed the molar tooth was the wound by which the venom, got in. Yeah. That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. Oh, come on, you idiot. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. Yeah. Harmo, you weren't reading too much into reality. I think you hit the nail on the absolute head on solving how that works. There we are. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Like practical applications, yeah? That was the one that, oh no, wait, the method of, hold on. Yeah, special characteristics. Yeah, sorry. That was the one. There. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel, now that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever except on Wilson. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kurare's special characteristics. And you knew that she could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Rapscallion! The swan lives! Well, Ruinosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
Objection! All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it... Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? Logic? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes. Well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, then Professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ha! I gotta say, I'm having an absolute blast, but sometimes in these details they are a little too slow to reach the next step. I hope it picks up in the later ones, because I think when we played Ace Attorney Justice for All, in many of these cases, the jump into the flash of brilliance in the deduction happened from just like that. Just like meanders around an obvious point quite a bit. Good gracious. That's basic science. Like it's essentially like these people are amazed at the notion that if you drop a glass from, you know, 2 meters on the floor, it's going to break. Like these obvious tiny little things you need to like claw out of this game to go forward at points. It's a little slow to get to these, you know, at some times. Like we know it's because of the come on, science that even of the like wound in the mouth with a tooth and stuff. That's basic science. Science that even schoolboys should be able to understand, no? But I have faith it's gonna pick up, though. Like, it's a proper Ace Attorney game, just by a different name. I think the creators are largely, like, the, you know, big names of the series, so... The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. At least that's what I heard from, like, one review, I think, that the, like, you know... Names be good that made this game. Like, well known in the Ace Attorney game thingies. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Yo. What is this welling up inside me? Is it a burp? I've had a bunch. I've never felt like this before. It's sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. It's like me doing a vlog about Outlast 2. I hated that game so hard. Good God. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Alright.
Objection!
Objection! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. Yay! How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Medical report. Boom!
Take that!
Take that! That's a good take that, my dude. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But indeed. What if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. How dare you use logic? Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it, you used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Hehehe. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. And rest of life in prison, thank you. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. She just smashed the bottle in the Supreme Court. Terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ah! How could you? You murderer! You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we, if there really was poison in the bottle or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, Counselor for the prosecution? Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. And you don't care about the facts at all. Like, come on. Like, I've seen some sleazy prosecutors who are willing to put innocent people in jail. Like, I've met a few in Ace Attorney games, but honestly, he might be worse than Francisca by this point. He just might be. Not only that, I think he literally just like wants to put people in jail who he just has a personal meh, I don't like him. Like that is I think he should be eaten by sharks in the ocean in the Pacific. I think we're done with this boy. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. With his back to the thing, the burn doesn't match up though.
Objection!
Objection! No, you killed the victim that day using curare. And then, in order to frame Ruinosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. Hehehe. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Honestly, neither does the prosecution, though, to say that like Naruhodo did it either. So, exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Again, your wild claims are also unsupported by essentially anything. So no one saw him do it, and you have nothing to match. Like, can you match the bullet to the gun? You haven't tried that. I mean, I realize that they don't, like, have probably, like, the ballistic dublatures, but is it at least the same caliber? Like, you have nothing. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. No, he wasn't. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ruinosuke Naruhodo. Although, he could have been, technically speaking, still alive in the very moment when he was shot, but only technically speaking. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene, and I believe it's a felony on multiple counts, but again, because these people being morons, Ruinosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. With my katana, go slice that lady. Yes, go for it. What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left to us for us to use now, they must be in your head. Or in the court record. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So I think... That's true. So think back again now. I remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, smell. What I saw, what I felt. I mean, I've been wondering about the steak that's been eaten a little bit, but are we going there? Oh. I still wonder very, very much, like, how come the steak was eaten after the murder? That seems very, like, just dumb. Because that's not, like, it was eaten more after the fact here. Like, it's so odd. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Okay, so problem is this. I have a problem with them just like, oh hey, there was blood which we chose not to show you, like... Like, that kind of a reveal, I'm loving this game. That kind of reveal is absolute BS. Like, haha, in this picture we make appear blood. From nowhere. Come on. Like, I'm loving this game, but come on, that's pretty lame. Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? So, okay. For the sake of argument, right? That better not be it, though. That better not be it. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ruinosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... That's pretty lame. Like, again, just... Hey, we added... from invisibility a clue into this photo because lol. I hope that's not the answer, because if it is, then, you know.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I mean, is it Hosonaga's blood? Maybe. Wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Objection! Wait a minute, where are you going?
Shut up!
Shut up! Where are you going with this little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was spattering of blood. Oh, okay, so still okay. I'm listening. I'll see where it goes before I criticize it any more. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson to the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon.
Objection!
Objection! This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Honestly, I mean, Ouchie needs to be fed to the sharks, but that point is accurate though. I was also wondering, like, why is that even... Okay. I remembered stuff. Like, okay. Those were a different... Yeah. This. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. The moment that shows that you are truly, indeed, incompetent. I agree, yes. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. Good, what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. Gonna be a new gumshoe? Maybe, yeah. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. Although, if I win this case, I'm gonna go into London, I think, because that was the plan, I believe, between these two here, so we'll see, right? Must examine it now. Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there any blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No, no blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's... impossible! I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Does it get soaked in or whatever? What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I must have missed the that. Yeah, it was in between the trial moments, yeah, in the lobby or something. Ah, I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire, I believe we may have finally reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Alright, let's do it then. The meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch, it was removed from the victim's table at the incident. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? Okay, let's go. This emblem on the side of the plate, is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of Le Carnival, is it? Yeah. Doesn't... Uh-huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. Oh no, I don't mean what it... I mean, what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat chooses, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that's been talk of the Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion. Smugglers! And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat, and it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath it for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ruinosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Okay. This is it now. I've lost. Ruinosuke. It's not over yet. Not only the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Screaming at the screen. I understand that. I get it. I believe in myself, really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I just did. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Sure. Safety save again. I do have to pretty soon quit though, so unless it like ends pretty much in 5 minutes, I have to run and just leave it here. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? I mean, there is one thing. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. Objection! The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my court, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? Essentially there. Huh? What in the world is this? Wait, did you, Yes, and apart from the meteors, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been a talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before, swine, but never heard of bullion. I don't... Been there, been there, been there. So...
Got it!
There. Got it! Good, good gracious, that's... a Koban? What on earth? A Hoei era 1 at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
Shut up! What a ridiculous question, how should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it. Objection! I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Come on.
Objection!
Objection! Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. I mean, you already did! We already made, like, you're not going. No matter guilty, not guilty, you're not going. We already mentioned, like, we're done this here, right? He's right, it can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
Objection! By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Shut up! Pat, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it is doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person that it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beef steak is the antique doobly-doo.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Kurio Korekuta-san. Alright. Guiri, as in Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yep, owner of the coin, yeah. Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. This is a true story. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Yes, I remember. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Yes. Indeed, the Hoei Era Koban, my prized coin. Then this Hoei Era Koban, do you mean to tell me...
Objection!
Objection! No, please, why would Korekutasan's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. It is a hidey hole. You dum-dum. Yes.
Yes!
Yes, indeed. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. That poor vase, I know. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back around that pair again. I can't either. Like, I've had a really good time with this one, but I feel like the pacing of this case could use a little tiny bit of trimming at points. I have to admit. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch. Ooh. The strongest of hunches, you see, they are the important ones. That if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Oh goody. Yeah, they're back to those two, yeah. Oh boy. Could someone just like confess and be done with it? What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Because of a coin we found in a steak. Honestly, don't even ask at this point. Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby Ido? Now my son's belly is empty. He is fiercer than a pack of wolves. Also, the ironclad discipline of this boy here, just taking that, like, blowing breath from the baby with all the snot and everything, and just not even moving a muscle. I could not do that. Witness stand seems to just grow. Yeah, I mean, not lying. In the Ace Attorney Professor Layton game, there is one court case where there's 10 people in a row in the witness stand. That is ouch. Ew, yeah. Exactly. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop's owner's existence. Well, but you said plenty, so you know. Be that as it may, Korekuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, had you... Ah! Yes, that's it. The very exact one, that is. And the sergeant caught the knife with his boot. That is an acrobat move right there. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. Birora, hi, welcome. I hope you've had an excellent weekend and an excellent day and all that good stuff, and I'm glad to have you here. Oh yeah. We are doing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, the Japanese games. I checked when they were made. This one was 2015 and the sequel's 2017 made. And my guess of the time era is correct. It's like in the change of in the turn of the century between 1800s and 1900s. One released on Switch, yes, and on PS4 and on Steam. Steam is where I'm playing this, so yeah. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. That is a juicy coin. Channel hopping bit trying to head to bed. Sounds like a plan. I mean, I should sleep, but I don't because I am stubborn. So there we are. Sandwiched, soaking. Seriously? clearly it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. I mean, Kazuma, I like your logic that it couldn't have gone there on accident. I agree with you. However, about 100 years from now, there's gonna be a circus case where a person's cape happens to jump up from a corpse on top of like a bust statue and sticks there by accident. And that's the crux of the entire case. A freak weird ass accident. So like, you know, accidents, unfortunately, like, I've seen some stuff, my dude. Like, I like the logic, but you wouldn't believe the accidents this universe gets into. I'm still seeing nightmares about that one. Like, good god, man. Alright. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing? A lot of dots in this one, for sure. Yes. Excuse me. Could I say something? Do you have to? Yes, of course. Anything to prolong the trial, I suppose. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. It was a fabulous case. That is true. It is a true thing you say. It was a very fabulous case. I cannot deny that. With lots of playing cards and fabulousness and hats and everything. It was quite something. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. Ooh. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Korekuta-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? It was the judge! Arrest him! I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Oh boy. Who's the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekuta-san's Koban and hid it under the stake? I mean, from what I understand, my guess is her. But, you know, with this one, who the hell? FJ, hi! Welcome, I hope you've had an excellent weekend and an excellent day. And glad to have you here, and all that good stuff and stuff. How is things? We are doing the Ace Attorneys, and we are truly cracking the case of the person who yells "yes" in the courtroom. Yes, it's gonna be good. That is what we are doing, though. So, okay, so I'm gonna point fingers here and hope it's the right thing. Yes, seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief. No, come on, Ruinosuke. Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma. Not as much as you shocked me. No one could have approached the table unnoticed, even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that. I'm not sure you should be calling Korekuta-san a crazy fool, Kazuma. It is you who were called a crazy fool. I pity the crazy fool. Maybe I'm on the wrong track here. Yeah, I have no idea. I am so lost. I don't believe I can. I heard you correct. Like, I have to admit, between like having a sleep in between this case and how this meanders about so slowly, I'm kind of losing the red main thread of what we are even doing. I'm enjoying the moment to moment, but I've almost lost interest in my original question of who did what and why. Like, this is so slow! Come on! Like, it's good, but it could have a couple of pieces trimmed out, you know? It's... Okay, so load game. Cool. Luckily, I safety saved. Okay, so that's 1 out of 4 guesses done.
Take that!
Nope. I mean, it could have been. It would have been a turn of events, wouldn't it? That's 2 out of 4 possibles, I think. So him.
Take that!
Cool. Obviously, it can only be you, who were not sitting at the table. Somehow. Sergeant Iesa Nosa. What? How? Harmo, welcome! Glad to have you here, and hope you've had also an excellent weekend, and an excellent day, and all the excellence, and all that good stuff. I am hopefully cracking the case of the great ace attorney person, the great, who yells yes. And I'm confused of what's going on, but I'm sure it'll get straightened out right soon. And I'm honored to have you here, and I'm honored to have everyone here. Uncover the cahoots, exactly. I don't know why I just grabbed onto the word, but I so like the word cahoots. It's so... it has a ring to it. I don't know why. How dare you! You monster! Monster? Energy drink? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? Well, with that moustache, you really could be, though. That is a master thief moustache. Have you seen the old depictions of Arsène Lupin, for example? I don't know how it's pronounced, but you know, I should watch the new Lupin Netflix show. It sounds it could be interesting. You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido's the mastermind behind all of this. Well, I said from the get-go that it's a Death Stranding baby. It's a genius Death Stranding baby. We need to call Mads Mikkelsen or someone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't Nosa say he was having beefsteak with Korakuta. He did, yeah. I'm just wondering, like, at which point the sergeant could have gotten close to the murder table, because as far as Hosonaga is swearing to us, that steak from under which the coin is in the murder table, and the sergeant table is a number of meters away. I mean, could there have been an opportunity where no one was looking? I guess, but it's never has been presented as a possibility. But then again, I might have missed something, because I can only attest, I love playing this, but this has had a couple of like meandering points at times where it takes such a long time at some points to like really get the point across that I forget details from like 3 hours ago. Like, oh, like it's all the same case, so I might have forgotten a thing or two. Alright, let's go. Perhaps the stakes were switched at some point. Maybe, yeah. That might also explain why the stake was more easy in the later photo as noticed. True. That's also true, yeah. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It is you, the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ah. I don't know at what point that could have happened either. Agree with... Yeah. That sounds plausible, yeah. Oh. Tally-ho? Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesanosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Right. Okay. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? In the 1890s? No, I don't. I'm not excellent at army wages to begin with. Although I do understand that it's not terrible everywhere, though. I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I am so hard not an expert on conflicts of Japan before the turn of the century in 18 and 1900s. Like what, Opium Wars? When were they? And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. Listen, cold meals can also, like, I eat lots of yogurt. It's really good, I promise. And it's good for the intestines, too. And it may have probiotics as well. So, a cold meal, while you need to have hot meals at some point, yeah. But sometimes a cold meal is nothing to sneeze at. It's actually pretty good. It's just, Although, I do admit, I have excellent meals lately because, I owe a lot of my diet to my GF because she is an excellent cook, and it really just bails me out on that front, that's for sure. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Yay for GF, hell yeah! It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. Oh, it does! Oh! That's an interesting point, because the way the steak was eaten does look like just like jumps with mouth. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. So I'm probably as puzzled as the prosecution's gonna be about, like, what does this have to do with the murder, though? Exactly, Bedora. My thoughts exactly. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Ow. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. Someone needs to muzzle her. Yeah, well, you know, I could think of a few ways, so yeah, let's just leave it at that. I would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. It appears so. That much it does look like, but of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. I mean, it is how we are built, though, originally. So, I mean, I guess we are tool users by sort of like, you know, evolutionary virtue as such. But like, you know, not as mad as. Oh, Beadora, I have been screaming about that hat all of yesterday. Believe me, I have had my field day with that hat. The Swan Lady shall never be forgiven for that hat. It is a crime fashion worthy of at least a lifetime in prison, I think. Fashion crime, yeah. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. You know, she's free to leave after she destroyed deliberately the vital piece of evidence that pointed to her as the murderer, which I think is just, you know, that sounds fair. Yep, that's Ace Attorney for you. And good day. Ruinosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. But your bandana is so dreamy, I can't help it. Oh no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. Hottest guy about, so yes, very dreamy. There we are. I don't know. Like, as far as I understood from the dialogue, I didn't catch it from the text itself when the sergeant was speaking about the steak, but Ruinosuke as well, mentioned afterwards that, quote, it sounds like he's not using a fork and a knife either, right? So it wasn't clear from the text, but it sounds like in the original intent of the dialogue, it was implied in the sergeant's words, or I just missed it, that the sergeant doesn't eat with the knife and fork. But I could be wrong. Like, I think whatever he's... I don't know. Maybe it's more the fact that... Okay, I think it could be this, but I don't think it's about her seeing it. I think it's about... Ruinosuke realizing that the steak is in the wrong table, maybe, or something? That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's not as such her slipping up necessarily. I mean, I could be wrong. I have no idea. But maybe this reminds Ruinosuke that the stake is in the wrong place because it should not be here in the murder table. Because here is where there are a knife and a fork. I think this is the thing. Like, because I think the testimony itself did tell the people, at least in the game, that there was no knife and fork used, I think. Alright, let's... I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. That's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Yell yes! Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Hold it! Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? Objection! What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ruinosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. As for picking up your steak and biting it into it without using a knife and a fork, is beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? I mean, safety's safe, but it's surely the crime scene photo, though. Let's go.
Take that!
Take that! The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred? What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? Is it made of fake meat? Is it a vegetable steak instead? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I noticed that too, yeah. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and a fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Crimes too unmentionable. It's been gnawed on like by an animal. Yeah, I mentioned it does look like it's been eaten like how the sergeant was described to eat it, which I feel like I went to the notion of, well, why it's in the victim's table about 10 minutes ago, and the game just meanders into that point again. Like, it's just, come on! Then take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Oh! Yeah, I feel like I mentioned it, yeah. Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
Objection! But what is your actual point? Maybe she's a werewolf gentlewoman lady who eats steak like an animal. Maybe she was ravenously hungry and couldn't help herself. Jesus. I mean, I said that as a joke, and he kind of went there immediately. That's awesome. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, this will be all over in the blink of an eye. I'll play that video game, yeah? I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? I mean, she has a swan on her face, so sure. Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, I'm going to the dentist with this! Teeth marks. So, and this one's alive? Honestly, who knows? Maybe. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. Has it, though? Wearable ladies in court? Yep, that sure. Let's go. Oh boy. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with a cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. That's true. Yeah, like it's the wrong steak. So Hosonaga is either in on it, or is even incapable of getting the right steak plate in here. Honestly, I think he might be in on it, though. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Yeah, I think I got a feeling that, like, Hosonaga is somehow involved in this. Like, maybe he shot the victim in the end or something, because, like, Hosonaga has been so endlessly incompetent, it's beyond just, like, incompetence by this point, you know? Could be my steak, I stabbed with a knife and fork and eaten like it were a corn on the cob. I mean, yeah, why not, right? I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. And the answer is 42, yes. Everything? Yes, it's in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's very good. Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Shut up! I have my towel! Conclusive evidence. How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. Honestly, I kind of agree on her with that one point that conclusive evidence means nothing in Ace Attorney. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Objection! This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. This is true. And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
Objection! I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. I suspect a safety save. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. We'll see. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? I'm gonna go Satoru, because he brought the wrong stake. Like, good god, man. I mean, either that, or she's hiding a stake in the hat. You know? Either or.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Or it could be her cup. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? Yes. That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nose told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. Yeah, that's where, yeah. The swan that shot him, yeah, and as well as admitting the stealing Korakura-san's coin, he thought that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadets. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
Objection! But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Objection. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? To be fair, this game for me doesn't seem that nice as the other ones. It's honestly something I have learned to not judge an Ace Attorney game based on, especially not the first case. Very often the first case is the weakest case in almost every game. Second, the overall package kind of can only be like ascertained when you fully sort of reached the end, if you will. Like, if one was to only see the circus case in Ace Attorney Justice for All and take an idea from that what the game is like, it's may seem a touch weak at times. And this is also like an HD'd version of a 3DS game, which is, in a weird way, the art style is indeed a tiny touch different in that way. Like, it's essentially the more modern art style of an Ace Attorney game, such as is Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, whereas the trilogy of the originals in the HD remaster collection are from the GBA that were then sort of upended to the 3DS with like a more, let's say, less pixelated look then, and then moving even further into a big screen. So there we are. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two stakes over, but like the big difference is it's 3D models versus 2D models, really. The sergeant switched the two stakes over. Now, did he is the question. I think he might have. A ... You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hit the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I think you need consent to investigate anyone's slab of meat. I'd be getting my marching orders. Maybe it's the expressions. There we are. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. Alright. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. Nobody touches my meat unless they want to lose a hand, yeah. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, prosecutor, son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir. Well, I mean, that is actually a lie, because, like, say, did you breathe? Yes, then that is something you are doing. So, that's again a lie. You perjured yourself one more time. You are a criminal who should be locked up forever and be escorted away from the court. And can we just pin the murder on you as well, just while we're at it? I'm kind of like, can we just move along? All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
Yes! So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! Ah! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Hell yeah.
Shut up!
Shut up! What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat, it can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. That mask must be yummy, I hope. I hope. That hat is apparently a swan that may be alive, and it is a fashion crime, a crime fashion, that alone should find her guilty of murder. I think we can all agree, yes. Red hair will kind of get Persona 5 wiped from her. Right. Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. Absurd mask and all, Having a stroke? Oh, I feel like I've sometimes had a stroke by this point. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. Objection in 3D, this is true. Hello, Iron. I hope you've had an excellent weekend and an excellent day, and welcome. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. And you just felt like it wasn't pertinent for you to bring up the notion that there's blood on the plate? Inspector Flawless Investigation Hosonaga? Again? Goddamn. Sad time in hat fashion history, yep. High stakes affair, ah. Yep. It's clearly visible, look.
Yes!
Yes! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! I love that the steak is offered up in police evidence condition. Yeah. It can't be. You haven't cared about the facts of the case in about 5 hours, Ouchie. You can leave. Real meat for authenticity. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. It's the Swander Woman. Outdone by a Japanese? Me by a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Anyone hungry? Right. Take speed as if this were baseball. Yep. I mean that is kind of what we are baseballing with objections. Yes. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior from an English gentlewoman, forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day, the truth this time. Do we need to break her again? Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would be all over. So it was the swan that wore woman boots. Sure. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. An advanced head crab variant. Yep, that is a head crab visual that is of the ages, yes. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. You wanted to leave a murder scene unnoticed wearing a swan on your head. Right. That's fair. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. I mean, I would never believe anyone would do a murder in such an outfit. I mean, what if Björk had just one bad day and she just snaps and goes, you know, just bananas on the audience? I mean, didn't she wear a swan into one of the some things one day? It's been too long, but that's the first thing I can think of. That's just foul. Well, Björk, she would use a chainsaw, not much to question there. I mean, yeah, but like wearing a swan though. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. Would be extremely metallocalypse in many ways. Be almost be worth the cost in human life. Almost. I mean, it kind of would depend on the people, maybe. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson, this innocent man. Berserk, yeah. I happen to know what the professor always carried a gun. That the professor always carried a gun. I started to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt, which no one checked. So I was right. There were two guns. I think she's still carrying the gun and she's just gonna shoot someone here. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent over to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Or very much dying, at least. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. Well, because you're an idiot, that's why you assumed something, so there you are. Just, you should leave the police force, become, I don't know, a fisherman, and never come back. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. Again, at this point, how did Naru, the detective, not notice a lady turning the professor around in his chair? Like, how dumb is this man? Don't scan me with a courthouse metal detector. My head swan doesn't like it. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder... Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. And she vanished! She's also a ghost! That is a grade A gold-plated Cthulhu-approved felony and she knows it. Yeah. I got a feeling she's gonna still live and just gonna tell the judge something about diplomatic immunity or something about knowing someone high up, and oh well, then we can't have you convicted for murder. It's a total misdemeanor, like a red light. It's fine. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Taketsuchi Auchi does not lose. You and your wins and losses, just come on, just place your head in an oven and just close the door and, you know. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Arg! Ruinosuke Naruhodo. Well, yes? This insult to the Auchi family name will never be forgotten. Why would you care? You're supposed to be looking for the truth, not about wins and losses. You're an idiot. Just nice and cleanly put your head in a guillotine and just... And there you have it, a better world. Take such a Auchi cannot lose. I don't know, 4 or 5 years later you might have dementia. You know. It was independently dematerialized along with the swan and cannot be sentenced in absentia. Yeah. Almighty Brit. You've become conceited with age, Counselor, or rage. But the old have to stand aside to make way for the new. I mean, it's not even old and new, just evil and not evil, come on. It's the way of the world. You never forget that. Alright. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Auchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Haha. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Right, as the first time ever that an innocent person was not convicted, apparently. Judging how things have gotten. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ruinosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. Methodology. I can't speak today. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. As an innocent swan got futilely prosecuted, yeah. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. You better hope. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. Well, hopefully a little bit less of the innocent being convicted of murder, but you know, we can all dream, right? That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Azuki. Achievement Forensic, yeah. Yes, after this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. We already established that he's not going. Like, one of the more confusing bits of the dialogue or monologue of this case for me has been Ruinosuke keeps on saying, if I lose, then the bandana boy will have to give up on his dream of going to London. And I'm like, wait, we already resolved what's gonna happen. If Naruhodo wins, he goes to London. If Naruhodo loses... Sorry, if Naruhodo wins, Naruhodo goes to London. If Naruhodo loses, the bandana boy still doesn't go. Ergo, Bandana Boy was never going after, like, the first intermission. Like, why were we constantly on this point? I don't understand. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you're able to. And do not forget, to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency, and he is not going. The rich, I mean noble, is always right, yeah. What was that? What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Because he's not going. Ah, never mind. As for you, Ruinosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes. In you I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. You can scream yes like the best of them. I very much look forward to seeing how you can carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Alrighty. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Ruinosuke Naruhodo not guilty. This court is now adjourned. Bandana Boy got stuck in the on-flying check with that big knife of his. Yeah, I mean, on-fly. There's not even really airplanes by this point in like commercial capacity yet. I think, right? 1890s, surely. of November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. Let's go. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Zeppelin check. Yeah, sure. Ruinosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. I wonder how long the ship travel would take if it was a steamship or by wind. From Japan to London, 1890s. When was the Suez Canal built, or should we just go? That's a good question. Yeah. Months? I don't know. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Aha, no, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street, don't forget. Good afternoon, all your hard work has certainly paid off. 1890s would be steam-powered and probably a few weeks to a couple of months. Yeah, sounds about possible, yeah. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You've worked hard for that result, too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. The Professor Miro... something. Mikotoba, right. Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. You know, I'll be honest, I never actually knew that the right games occurred in any kind of historic context. I just kind of assumed it was a very formal courtroom. Well, the right games are like modern day whatever. This is a historical spin-off in the 1890s by an ancestor of Phoenix Wright. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now, besides. It's your turn, Azaki. Great Britain is a magnificent country, it leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. Like through people, yes. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yeah, the Ouchi guy's ancestors of the pain. Yeah, he looks like that, yeah. By the very least, a very clear reference to them. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me. What's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? She's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. Well, yes, but she's rich, so we can't have her be tried for murder. She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga, I'm sure you've already left the police force because you realized you were an idiot and need to never again step in a crime scene ever again, yes? It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today, very impressive to watch. I must congratulate, but what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for their crimes here in Japan. I only know that from a quick scan to try and figure out what his fan said. I didn't really read because I didn't want to spoil anything. Alright, good. Is Mikotoba Omni-Man? I don't know. No, I don't know what that is. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who is going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past, now that we're signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances you're right. Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Or can they? Yes, she is a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making a secret agreements about her fate, does it? Alright. Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. Cahoots with no comeuppance! I don't believe it! Resemblance to character from a superhero cartoon Invincible, mustache, white streak, blown black... okay. I just... cool. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody to Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. I hate to break it to you, Mikatoba, but in 100 years from now, the justice system will make every single possible change that will try and make the innocent party convicted of murder, and no matter how many witnesses perjure themselves in that attempt and are also revealed to have perjured themselves, all liars, all unreliable, with no evidence, they are still convicted of murder all the time, unless Phoenix Wright saves them. That's the justice system, the end. The change in 100 years, if anything, goes worse. Sorry. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. I don't think she will, no. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink of curare. Let's go! But Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? No, and you need to resign. Now. You're a danger to humanity. You need to leave the police force. Become a hermit in some mountain, eat some moss, and never speak to a person ever again. There we are. The legacy of Hosonaga, because you can't be a policeman, not after this. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Is he, though? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. Meaning, there is no food. Okay, cool. Then let's not eat and let's leave the detective to be there alone and think about his life choices. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, like, I can't believe with the, 25 different gargantuan, cartoonishly terrible blunders that the detective made. I can't believe he wasn't in on it. I know Gumshoe makes mistakes, but come on. It's maddening how terrible that boy is at his job. So Jailbret won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. It's the difference between Franziska von Karma and Larry Butts. That's the difference between Gumshoe and Detective Hosonaga over there. It's ugh. The incompetence is crazy. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Nor the magic of the bandana. Kazuma. Cucumber steak, cool. In the green future of the oldies, Phoenix Wright is the law. Yes. Ryunosuke, I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Well, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me, all the tense verbal combat, I'll never want to go through that ever again. And yelling yes all the time. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ruinosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? A katana! That's what. Hell yeah. That is the key to a victory. Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. Like in the Matrix. Cucumbers, a magical flapping bandana. To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. Honestly, like, I've heard that that's not necessarily a good thing. Like, it can sometimes cause them to give a less optimal defense if they are convinced that their client is not guilty, because it can then interfere emotionally with them doing their job. Like, the fear of having an innocent person convicted of a heinous crime is an added stress and fear that could cause the lawyer to do a less good job. So actually believing in your client, I hear, is not actually necessarily a great thing in all circumstances. I'm human just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a good choice about what to believe in and stick it to when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom you can really be backed into a corner. Being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It's a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ruinosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Yes, you can leave. We don't need you. Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now, your first court victory. And your study toward the Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. I mean, it's up. I feel like we already agreed he wasn't going. I'm really confused about this. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, the moron, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. He would ask me to take care of his dog, and it was very different. It was his name was Milo, and it was quite something. There we are. Case 1 done. Hells yeah. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do smash that like button, or with a ferocity smash that power off button. And if you want to subscribe, I would super appreciate that, because it would truly, actually very much help. I promise. And join me here live on Twitch, because it's sometimes fun. I hope. And I hope to see you in the next case as well, and have an excellent one, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.